Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to see how to use fixtures and data-driven testing in the Cypress. Fixtures are basically files which have some data and which we can use in our tests. For example, if you look at here in Cypress automation folder structure, we have a special folder that is called fixtures. So Fixture folder contains test data files and which contains some test data and which we are going to use in our test. So let me show you how to create test data files. So here are different type of files which would accept JSON format or CVS etc. files which we have and we can keep inside the fixtures and use these at the tested data in our test cases. We have created a small file that is, let's say, orange hrm, so we'll name it as orange hrm dot json. The extension should be like json or csv jpg etc. So it is orange hrm dot json. So we have created this file in the fixture folder, and Cypress would automatically recognize the file inside the fixture folder. We have orangehrm.json and which has data like username and password. So let's create we have a file that is orangehrm which has data like username inside the double quotes, username and password. Yeah. So it has we have orangehrm.json file inside the fixture folder which has data like username, password. So now I'm going to use this data in our test, and for that I'm taking a website that is Orange HRM. So over here, we have a username field and a password field and a login button. So earlier, how we used to do it, like we are going to find the locator of this field, and then clicking on the login button. So let's begin. So firstly, in our test case, the describe block, arith block, then visiting the website, the URL. After that, cy.get the locator of the username field, dot type, the username is admin, cy.get the locator of the password field, Dot type admin123 is the password. Then the login button locator. Dot click. This was the earlier way how we used to log in or sign up any page. So now we learn how to use this with the help of the fixture folder. So firstly, yeah, so we can see that the test case has passed, and we entered the username, the password, and then click on the login button, and a website has opened. This in this we have done earlier. This we have done by entering the data inside the test case. So now we learn how to use this data inside the fixture folder and fetch the data from over there and then use in the test case. So let's see. Over here we'll entering the username over here, that is admin, and the password over here, that is admin123, and then we are going to fetch the data from the fixture folder. Over here, after visiting the website, instead of writing this over here, firstly firstly we'll import the fixture file that's named as orangehrm.json by using cy.fixture. After that, in the fixture, that the file is orangehrm.json. Is not compulsory to write. It's up to us if we want to write or not. And then after that, dot then method, and we have to store the credentials present in the orange hrm into a variable, that is data. The arrow function, and after that, here we have entered the data manually. Instead of doing so, we have to just fetch it from the fixture folder. So in the type, it should be data, and through the data we are going to access the credentials present in the orange hrm, and by using dot, data dot username, and over here, instead of writing the password, data dot password, and then click. So let's save our file and see. As we can see, the result again has passed. The username entered, the password field entered, and then click on the submit button. So we can see that in this way we can use fixture folder for entering the credentials. So in this example we have seen how to pass only one set of data, that is username and password. Suppose I want to test the same thing with multiple test of data. I want to pass various like we can say invalid username, valid password, valid username, invalid password, and both valid username and password. So how we can do that? And for that we need to add more data in the fixtures, so and repeat the test cases multiple number of time with different sets of data. So this is called as data driven test. In this data driven testing, in this data driven testing, the test is driven by the data. So let's see how to do that. For that, we are going to create a new file. Mm, let's say we can say orange hrm dot 2, and inside this file we have to create an array of multiple data. And for array we have to store the data in the square brackets, and then the first set of data, that is username, password. Let's copy this. This is the first set of data, the second set of data, and the third set of data. Now we have to test that single test file with multiple sets of data. That is done by the help of data driven testing. In this, we'll add correct valid username and invalid password, that is admin, and let's say over here xyz, and this invalid username and valid password, and over here both the valid credentials. So this is actually multiple test data that we have mentioned, that is three different types of data. So now let's see how we can write the test scripts for this, and how we can capture this entire data in the test script, and how we can repeat the test multiple times with multiple sets of data. So for that we are creating a describe block, orange hrm data driven testing. It block, sign in, Now, firstly, we have to import the fixture folder, that is the orange HRM2. Over here inside the it block, we have to write cy.fixture, then orange HRM2, and that credentials we have to store in any variable by using then method. Let's say we can store that in the data variable named as data, then create the arrow function, and inside that we are visiting to our website, that is orange HRM, by using cy.visit the URL of our website. After that, we want the multiple sets of data to be entered automatically inside this test case, and for that we have to create a loop for that. That means the first set of data gets entered, then again the second set of data gets entered, then the third one gets entered. So for that we have to create a loop, that is by using for each, and the loop should be applied on the data present inside the orange HRM2, and we can use data variable for accessing that data. So we'll write data dot for each of the test data present inside the orange HRM2, for each a variable, let's say that we have to store each set of data particularly in a variable, that is user data. We can name it anything, again the arrow function for that, and inside the user data cy.get the locator for the username, dot type. We have to type the password, and that password should be fetched from the orange HRM2. And over there, the data to access the data present inside the orange HRM2, we have to firstly access it from the user data. So we'll write user data dot. Then we have to access the username field, dot username. Okay, so now the second field is for password. cy.get the password locator, that is this type equal to password. Then again similarly dot type, then user data for accessing the data present inside the orange HRM2, dot password. After that, this click on the submit button. cy.get the locator for the submit button, and dot click. Let's save our file and see the results. So we can see the test case has passed. So we can see the test case has passed. In the first, we can see the username is entered as admin, then the password is entered as as XYZ, that is valid username and valid password. In the second, we can see the username is entered as XYZ and the password is entered as admin, that is again invalid both. And in the third case, we can see that is the valid username and the valid password, and then click on the login button. So over here in this, we can see how we can use multiple set of data inside one test case. Now we have learned how to use fixtures folder and data driven testing inside the Cypress. So hopefully you will find this lecture interesting and helpful. Thank you.